Kelly Oubre is an NBA basketball player. Now, we know that NBA money is long, all right? But NBA players fumble the bag too. Anybody know of Antoine Walker? Yep. Made over $100 and something million in his career and went broke. All right? That NBA money is long. But similar to what my dog Kojak said and Razik, the money that you make is a reflection of the person that you are. And you don't change your behavior just because you make more money. You don't start making investments and other stuff like that. You just spend until you don't have it anymore. So shout out to Patty Jackson. Patty Jackson says, let's not forget Ross was a correctional officer too. Facts. He was out there feeding his family. Shout out to the correctional officers. I rock with y'all. Silent Sniper says, DJ Khaled, the court system is looking at Fetty like another one. All your favorite people and all your celebrities, that is a rite of passage. Y'all know that a rite of passage in the black community is to make sure that you get to the jail system. You're not really a man unless you went to jail first. That's what Jay Prince told me. He said, Anton, you're not really even living. You're not even really living because you haven't done anything illegal to get yourself arrested. I was like, that don't sound right. That sounds a little weird. Anyways, let's get to Kelly Oubre. We want to end this on a good note. This is how Kelly spent his first $1 million, okay?
AMG GT. It's $1 million, y'all.
Woo! Sheesh. Sheesh.
What's up, everybody? It's Kelly Oubre Jr., a.k.a. Tsunami Poppy. I'm here with GQ Sports.
I'm sorry, what was that name? Tsunami Poppy? Did he say Tsunami Poppy? Huh. Interesting.
Today, I'm going to tell you how I spent my first $1 million.
Hey.
I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. 2005, I relocated to Houston, Texas, all the way up until my senior year in high school. Growing up, early stages, life was, not extravagant at all. I give credit to my dad for working his butt off, my whole life to provide for us. I think that instills a lot of me. Being me and my dad, my whole life, something that he definitely instilled in me is financial literacy. He made sure that I wasn't, spending outrageous at an early age. I know how to make money and, I know how to invest it and continue to save as well.
We're going to find out, buddy. He says he knows how to make money and he knows how to save it and invest it as well. Okay, so let's see how you spent this. I have not watched this video. I do not know what he's going to say. I am curious as to how he's going to say he spent his first $1 million, though. He said his father. Strong fathers, ladies and gentlemen. Hard head make a soft ass. All right.
My first 9 games at Kansas, I didn't play at all. So, and I was, really humbled from that experience. I eventually got the opportunity to play and showcase my potential and my skill set and it translated into the league. So everything happens for a reason.
I like that. I like that mentality. I like the fact that he's about his business. He's using the things that he went to in order to propel him to be successful. It's okay for men to suffer. It makes you better.
That draft night, how did you feel when you got that call?
Ton of anxiety. My life was definitely about to change. Everything that I had worked for, was coming to life. Obviously, draft night, I was blessed to, get drafted, period.
Do you remember the feeling of that money hitting your bank account?
It was a very exciting feeling, of course, but it was also scary because, more money, more problems.
Do y'all know, I'm going to go through his rookie contract in a minute. First round pick, number 15, traded to the Wizards. 3-year, $6 million contract with the Washington Wizards. Now, again, we know that when you get your first contract, right off the top of the bat, you can just slice it in half because the federal government won't they share. So really, that's $3 million over 3 years. So that's $1 million a year. And then on top of that, you got to pay your agents and the fees and all of the stuff that comes along with that, right? So now you're looking at less than $1 million a year because you have to pay what? 5 to 10%, 3 to 10% or something like that in order to get to your agent. So now you're looking at he paying himself less than me at the end of the day. And he not even looking at it from a business perspective yet. But we know that when you have a decent time in the NBA and you're a decent player, he's going to make more money at the end. But again, the idea of it is that the more money you make, your problems just multiply. But one thing that he did say that I want to talk about really quickly, and I want to add this into the conversation, is when you get that first big check, it kind of reminds you of when you first get your first job. Even when you're in high school, I don't know what y'all felt like when y'all got your first job. And then, see, for me, I got paid every week. but I was making $10 an hour, and I was working 40 hours a week, and it was in the summertime. And I got my first paycheck, and I was like, woo! Is this what it feel like? Now, think about it like this. Think about it like this. Have you ever got a check that was 6 figures? Have you ever gotten a check and seen it hit your bank account for the first time and it's 6 figures? It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because you've created a system and a business that allows for you to be able to thrive for the rest of your life. The question then becomes, is it so mind-blowing, or does it wear off, the numbness wear off, to where you then come back to your senses and start doing the thing that makes the most sense long-term? Buying assets. The most exciting thing that's ever happened to me wasn't the money hitting the account. It was the asset that I bought as a result of it. It was closing my first deal on that asset, on that house, on that real estate, and then putting somebody in and then getting the first month's rent plus a security deposit. That was mind-blowing for me. And I'm like, wait a minute. They going to take care of this, and they're going to make sure that I get paid and that I can continue to increase my net worth, and I ain't even got to pay no taxes right now? Oh my fucking God. See, you got to change. You have to rearrange how it is that you think about things so that you can then benefit from it long term. Neither here nor there. Let's continue.
Do you remember the contracts for the Suns and the signed with the Hornets?
Both 2-year deals. 2-year deal in Phoenix, 2-year, $30 million. And then I signed
Shout out to Ben Jefferson. Said, I appreciate the show, my brother. I appreciate you for continuing to support the platform, my friend. Thank you, Ben Jefferson. Thank you to everybody that hold me down with anything. I'm very appreciative of my people and my bag chasers.
2-year, $25 million deal with Charlotte. Here are the details of my contract with the Suns and the Hornets.
2-year, $30 million contract with the Phoenix Suns. That's 15 M's a year. Woo! 2-year, $24 million contract with the Charlotte Hornets with $17 million guaranteed. Woo! This boy is getting a bag. Now imagine these Damian Lillard type dudes that's getting 50 M's a year. We should never, ever hear from these dudes again. I don't want to hear nothing about these dudes ever going broke. But he's made the equivalent of, $60 million in his career. Cut it in half, let's just say 30. And then you take out whatever the fees is. So he's made over 20-something million, let's just say 25, 26, $27 million in his career after taxes. It's no reason why this dude should ever be broke. But let's see how he spent this first million. That basketball money different, ain't it?
All right, so enough of how I made my first $1 million. Let's talk about how I spent my first $1 million.
Jesus. Don't listen to basketball players, y'all, for financial advice. Shout out to my dog, Brock, says, love offering. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you for holding me down, my friend. You are very, very much appreciated as one of the most consistent people that ever rocked with me, my friend. Thank you.
First thing I bought when I first got money was Mercedes-Benz AMG G-wagon. And then I eventually got it wrapped too, which, comes out to another good $6,000, on the wrap, matte black, painted rims, all that good stuff. That was just my soldier, you know what I'm saying? It was my baby. The G-wagon was about $250,000.
Let me give y'all some insight on what's going on with G-wagons today. I got a buddy. We actually sit near each other. And we do business together because he owns a couple gas stations out here where I live at. Shout out to my dog, Richie's dad says, I appreciate you spending time to share money breakdowns. You are appreciated, big dog. Thank you. And you are appreciated too, Richie's dad. And Richie's dad, thank you for not only contributing to this platform, but I see you on all the platforms holding me down. Thank you, my friend. I rock with you. Here's the thing about G-wagons right now. With everything in demand, such as the Ford Lightning and G-wagons, do you know that my homeboy, and when I went to buy my Porsche, shout out to my dealer, he said, Anton, they paying me over $100,000 to get these Porsches over into California, but I decided that I don't want to, finesse my customers and I want to get it to them instead or whatever. I said, oh man, I appreciate you. And I gave him a little tip. I take care of him. I met him at the M1 race course, and it's a video out there for me doing that. But we were talking about it, right? And he said, my homeboy said, yo, Anton, G-Wagons is so in demand that if you buy it new today, he bought his G-Wagon new, and then he wind up selling it to somebody in California for like over $100,000 over sticker. people are paying egregious amounts to be able to do what they want to do and get what they want to get. This money that these people out here getting that's even outside of basketball is insane. Trust me, it's insane. People are paying a premium to get the cars that they want when they want them. All right, so we fumbled that.
The next thing I purchased, I had to get a condo in Washington, D.C., which was ranked the most expensive city at the time on rent. So I think it totaled up to about $200,000. DC, man, 2-bedroom apartment. And the thing with rent is like you have to find somewhere to lay your head that's comfortable. And I'm very picky when it comes to picking houses because I like my interior to look a certain way. Like I could have.
The only problem with that is that he's not writing it off as a business expense by having, well, I don't want to give that level of game out. But your main residence should not be the residence that you live in. The place that you get that you renting out should be the place that you're using for whatever it is that you're doing from a business perspective. If you're running business out of your houses, you're doing web development out of there, you can use it as an... I'm not even going to go into that. Join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to my girl Lockhart Perspective. Thank you, Lockhart. I'm not going to get into it. This is Patreon exclusive content only. We're not going to get into it.
Got a 1-bedroom somewhere right next to the gym, but I've never been that guy. I always had to do it a little more elegant, you know.
All right, so we got $450,000.
Had to get furniture as well for the spot. I had to get a cloud couch from Restoration Hardware. I got a free Casper mattress in there. I went to Costco and got a guest bedroom bed for the guest bedroom. Then I just got some art from Wayfair.
So you spent $10,000 on furniture. That's not bad. It's looking bad out here though. I don't see anything investing. I don't see any investments so far at all. I see no investments. All I see is lifestyle. Shout out to Spaces says, I know a good credit score isn't the goal, but since talking to you, I've readjusted my focus on my funds, got my debt down, and my credit score has gone up 60 points. I champion you, Anton. #bag chasers. Shout out to Spaces. Here's the thing about it, Spaces, is that credit score isn't important for the overall goal, but the good credit score comes along with being a good steward of your money. And so if you do the things that you're supposed to do, you don't have to worry about the credit score. And this is the things that we teaching. The thing that we teaching is not how to get a good credit score, but how to be a good steward over your resources, which ultimately result in the credit score being awesome. And that's why we call ourselves bag chasers. It's because it's not chasing money. It's chasing the best version of ourselves, understanding that the money, the credit score, the marriage, everything else comes along with it. And so all you got to be is a good steward and focused on becoming the best version of yourself, including good character. Shout out to my dog Spaces. Tommy M says, nothing spent towards investing right now. Everything that he's spending is lifestyle. 100% of everything that he's putting out there is lifestyle. Thank you, Tommy.
Dad had gotten bitten in the head by a pit bull when he was younger. So I used to always ask him for a dog, and he, hell no, we're not getting a dog. And then, you know, when I got to the league, I bought my own 2 dogs. Bought a dog, you know, he was $5,000 in itself. I had him for the first year that I was in the league. And then my second year in the league, I bought another dog. She was $7,000. It was a mini Frenchie. Those are my babies and my first pets. I only brought Soul because Saint used to be so lonely and I used to be on the road. And, you know, he used to have to go to a dog watcher. So I spent about 12 bands on my 2 dogs.
Is that how much dogs are costing? They costing more than y'all kids. Dogs is costing more than y'all kids. I don't see no investment.
My first rookie contract, I bought a set of diamond teeth, 4 single teeth up top, and a whole grill. Probably ran me about $8,000.
He don't even got him in his mouth.
I bought a little guitar chain. It was my first chain ever, rocking the mess out that thing. Really was just trying to get a piece of gold around my neck to match my watch and my teeth. So I was flexing for that for a little bit. So that probably ran me about, what, $1,500. Really was just trying to get a piece of gold around my neck to match my watch. I purchased 2 fleur-de-lis chains for Saint and Soul, you know, my dogs at the time. Probably ran me about 7 bands as well. I bought 2 black diamond rings from Jason at Beverly Hills. One was just like this, actually, without the spin. The other one was like an octagon shape.
And his watch is iced out, y'all. His watch is bust down. I don't see an asset in sight. I don't see anything from an asset perspective in sight.
But I got those, you know, on my rookie contract, and those ran me about $13,000 together.
So he spent $60,000 on drip.
You know, my pops has been the least overhead for me because he don't really want anything. He never wanted gifts or anything like that either. But, you know, he's very low maintenance. He doesn't need, you know, too much. You know, my first year, he got a little apartment in DC. You know, it was about 2 bands a month, so about $24,000 on rent for him, you know, in the first year. He got a Mercedes-Benz S450. He knew what he wanted. He said, I want this. You know, for my pops, I probably would say I was spent $50,000 my first year, you know, but word.
I see nothing about investing in this thing at all. This is like a very, very bad episode of MTV Cribs. This is very bad. And he seems like a cool, humble dude, but this is very, very bad.
I was partnered with this school in Washington, D.C. called Duke Ellington. I set up a seminar series called Black Boys Rock the Arts for all the, you know, the younger kids in the school who just needed inspiration. It was a creative arts school, so I sat through design class with them. I sat through guitar class with them. You know, I hosted about 2 or 3 seminars. At the end of the year, I gave away 25 scholarships to the seniors trying to, you know, further themselves and go to college. So just trying to inspire and pretty much just trying to give back to the next generation is,
so nice.
You know, what my purpose was. I'm just happy that I was able to do that. You know, I had guest speakers like Brian Leslie, Young Paris, Afrobeats artists. The best money that I spent, you know, within this stack, within my first contract. So also the MBPA actually matched my $25,000. So, you know, each kid got about $2,000.
All right, so I don't have anything wrong with that, but I'd rather have him invest his money and I will say that he probably spent his money. His money wasn't well spent, even though it was donated. All causes are not worthy of our money, right? So he just donated for them to go and get a bunch of basketball even degrees. They're going to go and play the guitar in college. I'm going to be honest with you. See, when I do things like this, I have to put stipulations on it. Hey, you have to go to this particular, in this particular field if you want to get this type of money. I think that the stipulation should be a little bit more strict. Anton, at this point, millennial money should be called trauma money. Getting rich to spend. Wish I had money for the past. Is that what it said? I'm sorry. Thank you, Jordan Smith, for holding me down. This is bad. It's all bad in my opinion. Hopefully, and have y'all noticed a trend here? What usually is happening, what's happening with these guys is that the first thing that they spend all of their money on is fucking stuff. And then hopefully, we hope by the end of the video that they actually invest in something. So then they'll say, when I was running out of money, I made some investments, and I decided to finally buy me some property or some crap like that, or I put some money into savings. These dudes never, ever actually spend no money on nothing investing. The first thing that you should do is put your money into assets, and then you invest it so that you don't have to pay the taxes on it, and you can continue to grow your net worth. Crazy.
Definitely, you know.
Honest to God, I've never seen this video before in my life.
Big part of this stuff was learning through my mistakes. Big traded companies like Apple, Nike, Chase, a lot of banks. I really was able to learn about the stock market, and I made back a lot of the money that I spent, you know, just by smart investing. I also learned to study GIA certified diamonds. I have a regret of buying the guitar chain with the SI diamonds.
Yep.
I should have never done that.
Stop busting down your stuff. Stop buying diamond chains and customizing your watches and diamond rings or whatever like that. Listen, if you getting it and you got your investments paying for your assets, then go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But if you're trying to buy stuff that actually appreciates over time, that's not it, bro. You're getting robbed by these dealers, bro.
You'll be surprised though. Hey, your favorite rapper might be wearing SI diamonds and you wouldn't even know, because at the end of the day, you ain't questioning them. Stay woke, my people.
Yep.
One thing that I did invest in, I invested in myself. I spent about $10,000 to $15,000 just creating LLCs for the businesses and the ideas that I had. My grandma died also my second to third year in the league.
He does not have to spend $10,000 to $15,000 to create an LLC. Read between the lines, fam. Listen, this is what I want y'all to understand. Let me blow up real quick. This is what I want y'all to understand, y'all. Just because they said it and they have money does not mean that they're giving you the right information. You do not have to spend $10,000 to $15,000. Whoever did this for him robbed him. You do not have to spend $10,000 to $15,000 to create LLCs. Here in the state of Michigan, for example, I think it costs you the equivalent of $40 to go online and file for your LLC. Okay? And then to go on the IRS website and then to create the EIN or tax ID number associated with it after you get it approved is free. And then you go and you open up your bank account using the documents that you just used in order to create these LLCs. It is not $10,000 to $15,000 to create an LLC. And I know that the costs vary depending on what state that you're in, but there's no way in the world that this dude should have spent $15,000 creating an LLC. Shout out to Lockhart Perspective says, I should explain why I thank you. You reinforced the value of my calendar. Priceless. Thank you, Lockhart. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with me. Also, Aaron says, Anton been super busy lately. Gonna miss most of the show today. Just sending some love, big bro. Peace and blessings. Thank you, Aaron, for holding me down and continuing to make sure that we're taken care of. Family. You do not have to spend $15,000 to create an LLC. If somebody tells you that that's what it's going to cost, if you go to a website and they say, hey, we can do it for you, you are being robbed. The only thing you have to do, see, the lack of knowledge is what's costing you money. And that's why I say that y'all need to rock with and align yourself with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. It does not cost a lot of money for you to create an LLC. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Jesus Christ. Y'all be fumbling and y'all don't even know y'all fumbling.
I created a mark called Vie Infinie, which was, pretty much infinite life. And it was just for her. It being inspired by, that whole process of grieving. And that's another 5,000.
And I gotta buy my mama a house.
For my second year in the league, I bought my mom a crib in New Orleans. It was a blessing for me because I think that she's been living in the inner city. We closed on the house pretty much after my second year in the league. So I was still on my rookie contract.
So let me tell you why LLC is necessary. Say LLC is not even necessary when you start a business. It is necessary. It's not necessary in that you already are a business, right? So inherently when you're doing anything, if you go over and you do some kind of plumbing over somebody's house right now, you may not even be licensed. However, when you get paid, you are going to be responsible for the taxes that's associated with it. And so instead of it being based off of an LLC or something like that, you are inherently a sole proprietor, right? And so even if you go and you get a job as a contractor and they pay you as a contractor, you're technically being paid as a business, but you are then responsible and liable for anything that goes on or goes wrong that goes along with it. Creating an LLC separates and it breaks off any kind of responsibility, or it separates the limited liability. You're not as liable, so you can separate your assets from your personal assets, the business assets from the personal assets. So if something happened to a house, then my personal assets is protected against what happens with that house. Otherwise, they can come for you, which is one of the reasons why you see tax accountants, you see lawyers, all of these people, anybody that does any kind of practice with doctors and stuff like that, they have LLCs. Now, you can deeper dive into having S corps and things like that, but that's a completely different conversation. If you want to dive into that, I have that video inside of the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. You are inherently a business whether or not you file for an LLC or not. However, you do want to separate the liability that comes along with doing business outside of your personal assets. It's important. But again, I break this down inside of the Patreon. The link is in the description and why you want to do it. Shout out to Aaron. Aaron says he's getting finessed by whoever told him to pay that much for those LLCs. These financial planners and managers are robbing these athletes and celebs. Facts. Jeffrey Woodland says financial education game. I'm trying to tell y'all. I will give you the game, but y'all gonna have to go through and do the things that's actually in your best interest also. Shout out to all of my people and shout out to the contributions to the platform and for everybody holding me down.
But I knew that, my next contract was coming. So, I definitely wanted to do something for her because at the end of the day, I didn't want to have her moving from house to house. New Orleans real estate is not too crazy. So, it was about $240,000.
Don't buy real estate in New Orleans. The first place that is going to be underwater if climate changes, if you think that climate change is real or if you don't. Either way, don't invest real estate in New Orleans, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all like to hold down the places that y'all from. And this is just my personal opinion. So take this with a grain of salt. And I'm not a financial advisor. So I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm telling y'all my own personal thoughts. Do not invest real estate in New Orleans, ladies and gentlemen. Your house is going to... Have y'all ever been to New Orleans? Most of the houses is up on sticks. Don't do it, y'all. In my personal opinion. Shout out to Razik says there's literally a LLC for dummies book. It is. You can learn how to do an LLC for nothing, but that's the price for paying for not reading or not studying or being a part of the bag chasers, is that you then have to subject yourself to these egregious fees unnecessarily.
I just wanted her to kind of find a place that she likes. We had some options that we went through, and then, we settled with the one that she's in right now. It was a blessing. Like, I let her do her thing. She was just happy in herself, feel gratitude that I was able to buy her a home. Yeah, it wasn't any keys, surprising of anything. It was just her, signing the paper, signing her name on the house, and then having something of her own.
I don't see anything. So he got $25,000 in investments, allegedly, which his investments aren't even actually real investments, because he said he spent $15,000 of it on LLCs. This is crazy. Shout out to Brock. Brock says he can't claim New Orleans no more. I want to trade him for a Japanese 25-year-old. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, these people are egregious. Let's look at this.
So my second year in the league, the summer, I purchased a 2018 AMG GT. I wanted the SLS, but they were sold out everywhere or they were hidden for a good, pretty penny. So, I went with the AMG GT and I called her the Bane Mobile. Yeah, I got Bane tatted on me. Respect to Bruce Wayne, but I like Bane, because he makes people feel like they're in charge when they ain't really in charge. I had the Bane Mobile, what I'm saying? It was about 140. I paid another 10 to get it wrapped matte black, just like my G-wagon. So, I got the G-wagon, I got the GT, and I get to drive a different car every other day if I want to. So I was feeling real good. At the end of the day, when you're on a team full of young, eccentric guys who show their money off really well, you kind of are motivated.
Influence. That's why I say surround yourself with the people that's going in the direction that you're going in. Influenced by the people that he around with, and now he out here fumbling the bag.
To do the same in some senses. So I stepped out of character. I got the GT and I was flexing. Young rook out here. Thank you to GQ Sports.
All right. Enough of this foolishness. When are we going to start getting people that actually make better decisions? I'm just curious, man. I'm very, very curious. This is insane, man. When are we going to start getting people? Why don't we have real leaders or people that can give us some extra insight on how we can do things better? I don't understand it, man. I'm very curious as to why we can't get better leaders. Dub Will says, wouldn't he be better off just putting half of it into an index fund? He would be better off putting all of it into something that's actually going to appreciate over time. All of it. Shout out to Chris Norwood. My dog says, great content and insightful. You're the only Patreon I've subscribed to. Wishing you more success and thanks for the value you consistently bring. Thank you, my friend. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Chris Norwood hit me with that 20 ball. He said, listen, Anton, you ain't charging enough for the Patreon. Maybe we should raise the prices. I don't know. Shout out to my dog, Chris Norwood. I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. And then also got Packanot. Says, let me clarify, an LLC is not an S corporation. You need to keep personal business assets separate. Pierce the corp veil and they will come after you. All right, I rock with that. Shout out to my dog. I appreciate y'all. And then my dog, the Uncle Tom, says, that's what you are, big dog. I appreciate y'all. Listen, I'm going to be the pillar even if, thank y'all to everybody that support the platform. I'm going to be the pillar even if other people don't want to be. I have to jump on this call. They pinging me right now. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm going to ask you, right? You know what I'm going to ask you, right?
AMG GT, AMG GT, AMG GT.
Don't do what he do. Don't go and get this.
AMG GT.
Don't go and get an AMG GT, ladies and gentlemen. Invest in assets. Make sure that you share this platform with your family and friends. And don't go and get this. Let me remind you one more time. Don't do this.
AMG GT.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Make sure that you do the thing that's going to be in your best interest. Invest in yourself. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. In addition to that, if you need to get in contact with me, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and we're going to get you popping, all right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Share this with your friends. Hit a like on the way out the door. Y'all have a phenomenal afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to holler at y'all later.